Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Today's Tuesday. We're about 2 days away from Thanksgiving 2024. And I hope y'all are preparing and getting ready to get in a good eats. And if y'all like Elrich who don't eat meat, you're not invited to the gathering. Stay at home, eat your own food.
All right,
But anyway, about to get into it. Let's get into it, E, and let's check this latest application out.
all right. So this borrower have a 698 credit score. All right, the subject property is 2222 Annette Street, New Orleans, Louisiana. The building's square footage is 1,670. Number of bedrooms and bathrooms is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It's a single family property. Is already at the title company. And no, it is not a personal residence. And the estimated current value of the subject property is 145,000. Estimated value after rehab is 215,000. Years of experience, 7 years. Loan amount requested, $145,000. Describe the use of funds, renovate roof, siding, cabinets, flooring, bathroom upgrades.
So y'all, look, while Elrich pulls up the photos here and we start getting into it, little backstory. This person, we've loaned him money before. In fact, I believe he was our highest dollar amount, like about $500,000, right? Was that the one from
No,
Metairie?
no, it was actually like 335,000.
Oh, it was 330, but the spread on the house was worth like five
Yeah,
hundred thirty nine thousand. Oh yeah, so yeah,
yeah,
that was right. So we had like a $200,000 protective equity spread there with this borrower. And we met him maybe like what about almost 3 years ago now, almost right.
yeah.
And we
Mm-hmm.
actually walked this property. It's not this one that we loaned on, but he was asking for a loan about 2.5, 3 years ago about on this exact same property. We walked it, but the condition was just kind of not great. it
Mm-hmm.
just it just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't great. Either way, we passed the opportunity to do the loan 2.5 years ago, and it looks like now he got some money at the 85,000 because he wants us to refinance 85,000. So I spoke to him because I wanted to get a little bit more background on what's actually going on. So some of the pictures are updated from when we first saw the property about 2 years ago, but still not necessarily to what we would have liked to seen regarding to whether or not this will be able to appraise to the level of what we like to look at as excellent condition, right? And so he has to pay off a previous lender by the end of this week on November 31st. And he's asking us to come in and pay off that lender and also give him some renovation money.
Yep. All right. So he looked like Anitra mentioned, he looking to refinance at 85,000. He said he could put down 20%, and the construction cost is 55,000. All right, let's take a look at the pictures. So this is the front of the
So
house.
this is the exact same. The exterior of the house in 2 years has not changed.
No.
This is exactly the way the property looked about 2.5 years ago when we first walked it.
Yeah.
There was also some I guess like some I don't know if it was structural issues or was it more like just some shoddy or what you
Foundation. Yeah, I would just
like some
say,
foundation issues.
yeah, I would just say the floors was unleveled. When walking through the property, you could feel like certain dips in the floors.
Hmm. Now these floors are fairly new. They weren't there. These type of floors weren't there, but I don't know. You said you think they were, but they had so much stuff that was like the property
Different.
was kind of had so much junk
Mhm.
covering a lot of stuff, but it does the floors do look new to me.
Yeah.
or newer?
Yeah, it definitely looked like newer floors, but when I remember walking through it when we first walked through it, um, it each room had like different floors, like each level. I think it was like this is a two-story property too, and it's like each room had different floors, so I can't really tell which ones is new and which ones is like from the original time when we walked through it.
Hmm. Right. And so his strategy is he wants to keep this property as a rental, right? And so he doesn't have to necessarily put the best material in here,
Right.
but you still want to get it to where it appraises enough uh for to be at a comfortable spot as far as equity wise.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we that's a good point. So when we doing the ARV, we looking at like contractor grade type renovations versus like super excellent properties in the neighborhood.
Correct.
Yeah, see, I think these floors in this bathroom is new, but I think he definitely saved on costs with those floors, with the tile floors. But
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, all right.
Now I do think that this is the same, right? From when we
Yeah,
first walked it with that black floor. Um, I looked at the photos earlier, so I do know that that transition, the black floor sits a little bit higher than the
the
tile floor.
tile. Yeah, yeah, and it's definitely a like when I remember walking through it, it was definitely a funky layout. They had hit rooms in different areas. It wasn't like an open floor plan. It was really funky. I
Yeah,
don't
it was
know
really fun.
yeah, I don't know what word to describe it.
Also, too, I think the background with this house is also a family member's house. So
Yeah,
they were, I don't want to say in a battle with each other, but they were trying to take the property out of one family member's name and put it into their name, to kind of, yeah, to rescue them from some finances that were owed on the property.
yeah,
And I believe those owing what was owed on those finances have been cleared up.
yeah, yeah. And
And
this is the
so,
actual door we walked through when we went and looked at
yeah,
it.
that's
We
the
didn't
door.
walk through the front door.
Yeah, you can see the different layers to the property. You got one roof, two roof. You have three roofs on this property.
Yeah, so it's window unit, so it's not central AC and heat.
Right. All right. And y'all, the junk car.
Yeah, you definitely got to remove that.
Yeah, and we actually talked about that with this investor 2 years ago. Is that trying to get this non-functioning car out of the driveway. It's just not a good look, for the appraisal, and it's just not a good look for the neighborhood either. These type of things drag down the positive equity in the neighborhood. It's
Yeah,
just that plain and simple.
yeah. I read a
I
book.
wouldn't want to live next door to that.
Yeah, I read a book one time. It was like the broken window concept. So it's like
Uh-huh.
if you see a car with a broken window in that neighborhood, it's like I don't know, it's like magic. In weeks or in a certain period of time, you're going to see other cars with a broken window. But
Yeah,
if you see a clean neighborhood, if you see people picking up trash, you will see other houses down the street where it's a clean neighbor, clean grass or whatever like that. So it's like,
yeah.
yeah. So whatever you do in your neighborhood, you will see people doing this exact same thing.
Yeah, I just think it's a natural thing. People are, how do I say it? It's kind of like copycats, right? So,
Yeah,
like if you're in a classroom and a certain standard is everyone's making A's, you gonna rise to that occasion or you're not.
yeah,
Um, and you're not gonna fit in that particular classroom. And so you'll find students dropping out or whatnot. And then I think the same is in life, right? Whoever you are, whoever's in your circle, that's why they say that. You typically rise to that circle, to that level.
Yep. All right, let's get into some of the comps, and we have to verify the square
Square
footage.
footage.
All right, let's go into the assessor's website.
Yeah, I ordered me some sweets for Thanksgiving, and I paid for this stuff. I'm trying to see if this girl going trying to pick it up early. Like I need to pick it up now.
I'm gonna keep this in the video too.
All right.
Nah, I'm messing with you. My
But,
partner like to eat. That's always on her mind.
man, that's crazy. Cause yeah,
We in the
everybody say
middle
that about me.
we in the middle of recording. Oh, I ordered some sweets. All right. All right. So the property address is we have the property address 2222 Annette Street, and this is the property. And the building area square footage is 1,670, and that's exactly what our applicant put on his application. All right, so let's go into this MLS. All right, we're looking at all closed properties, sold properties in the last 300. I'm gonna go 180 first. 180 days.
I kind
180.
of agree with the 365. I think we kind of are familiar with this particular neighborhood.
You want to
Um,
do the 365?
let's do 180, but I don't think you're gonna get a lot of comps
Yeah,
in 180 days. Um, yeah. See, this
yeah,
this is I must admit this is kind of rare that if you saw the dots, you probably had like one. Um,
yeah,
so that this is either a good thing or a bad thing. But where this property sits, it sits in a large portion of Orleans Parish or New Orleans, right? It's in the seventh ward,
yeah.
which is probably one of our bigger neighborhoods, huh?
Explain why it would be a good thing or a bad thing to see a lot of comps or not to see as many comps.
All right, so if you don't see as many comps, that probably means that a lot of people are staying put and holding on to their properties, right? Which could be a good thing because if it is a desirable neighborhood and you come on market, then you kind of like, I guess, like a monopoly. You have an opportunity to sell your property a little bit higher. Or if we are taking that same example, uh, and we don't have a lot of comps or whatnot, it just might not be a good time to sell, right? It could be really indication that people are choosing not to sell at this current
Mm,
time, because possibly maybe interest rates are affecting that, or they feel like they're not going to get the price that they want.
yep.
Is that what you're looking for? Did I
Yeah,
did I make sense?
that's exactly what I was looking for. So, because some people, that's viewing this video is not gonna know like why a neighborhood, like how to look at the neighborhood if it have a lot of comps versus not many comps.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So our square footage was 1670, and we evaluating this based on very good condition, not really like excellent condition.
I'm not sure very good would even be accurate
All
based
right.
off
So,
those photos.
but he also putting another 55,000 into the property. So that
Well, I guess you're right.
yeah, yeah. So we only had one very good, but that's the square footage is not similar.
Correct.
And and as a property square footage is smaller, the dollars per square foot go up. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, this is going to be a tough one to evaluate.
So this is going to be a situation where we're going to have to go outside of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so
Um,
if we go outside of the neighborhood, we can't put a lot of weight on it. Would you agree to that or what?
yeah, definitely. So we gotta like evaluate it with a conservative mindset. So if we go, let's just say we go all the way over here.
And
All right.
guys, this is why it's so important to understand your market, right? Because when you go outside of the neighborhood, you still have to consider similar neighborhoods, right? Like we wouldn't compare this to a another neighborhood uptown off of St. Charles, now would we?
No.
We just couldn't. We can't do that. And then if you're familiar, of course, uptown off of St. Charles is a lot of mansions and things like that. So that's what I mean when I say, okay, when you evaluate something outside of the neighborhood, you don't want to go 3, 5 miles away from the property in a completely different neighborhood or whatnot. You have to be super conscious about trying to find like neighborhoods,
Yeah.
really close, um, really close in radius.
Yeah. So this is one property that came up. I think the outside it looked a little similar. They siding is way better though. Um, and he said he was gonna a part of his use of funds is to renovate and redo the siding.
Right.
Yeah. And this property is in very good condition. And honestly, I don't expect the $55,000 renovation budget to be in no better condition than this one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it's clean, it's rentable, it's livable. I think
Yeah.
a tenant would make this their home.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
So
But
what's the square footage on that one?
yeah, it was small. It's still smaller. It's 1376.
Okay.
You have this one in average condition, but this is definitely outside of the neighborhood on the Legion Fields, but it's similar in square footage. Let's check it out. And then
Right.
it's that New Orleans style house. So it's not like
Yeah, it's not
yeah,
yeah, this is
yeah.
more desirable and it looks really nice though.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Yeah, so this is not the same type of property.
Elysian Fields is a major, major street in New Orleans. So and it's on the outskirts of the neighborhoods.
All right. So we can't look at that fair one. Yeah, so this one is a tough one to evaluate. Um, although I think it's still opportunity.
Yeah, of course. But his loan amount is so small. He's only asking they're asking 85 plus the 55, the 50,000 or 55, right?
Yeah, 55. Let's see how much that is. So 85,000 plus 55,000. So he asked for 140. 140. All right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
All
he
right.
he he stretched his ARV right at 215.
All right. Yeah. So his ARV is 215,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Right, right.
215,000. All right, let's see this one on two room. So this is a smaller house. All right, this one on North Priya sold for 108. All right, we just saw that. All right. I think this one on 2018 North Priya is the closest thing we're gonna get.
That's gonna be our best option.
Yeah, our best option because it is a similar style house. Let's see if it's in the same neighborhood. Not quite the same neighborhood because as you can see, this is the I-10 interstate and our property right here and this property right here. Not quite the same neighborhood. But since we do know this area, and I wouldn't say this neighborhood is any better than this neighborhood. You know, I
Yeah,
think
it's not. I think the neighborhood our property in is slightly a little bit bigger. I mean better,
yeah,
slightly.
yeah, slightly,
Like
very
you're going from
slightly.
like a 9 to a 9.1.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So when with this property in very good condition selling at 108, would you be comfortable using that same 108 for hours?
Yeah, I would. I would be
Yeah.
comfortable at the 108. I don't think I would adjust it in this
Yeah.
particular case.
Yeah.
And the
I'll be
reason why
comfortable
is
too.
because of the renovation level, of course.
Right. Right. So at 108 times 1670, our subject property square foot is 180. So he had his ARV at 215. Ours is at 180. You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with the 180. And so
Mm.
that times is 0.65, that puts us at 117 all in on the property.
Yeah,
And so
117.
we would have to pay off in this instance where we do 100% financing, we actually got to pay off. So the 100% financing, I mean, the 100% construction probably wouldn't even come close because we got to pay off the other lender.
Yeah. So we
So
paying
that
off.
leaves his renovation budget at 32,000.
Yeah. So for us, like I think we could still make him the offer because if he could show additional 13,000 on top of the other, making sure he can make the payments, making sure he could do come up with the closing costs and have the additional 13,000 plus
Right.
a little bit of reserves, I, I think it's a safe loan.
I want to highlight again, if you say you do 100% on the construction as we do, but when you have an existing lender that you pay off, then you don't you pay off the lender first
Yeah.
in your calculations. You don't consider 100% in in the renovation cost. Especially something of this low, it's kind of impossible, right? And so there may be a situation where you may not be able to do 100% on the renovation, and you need to tell that to the borrower that, hey, we got to pay off the first lien position because we're not coming behind. We're not doing a second lien position behind another private or hard money lender because that 85,000, that's exactly what it is. It's a private hard money lender. But look,
Yeah.
y'all, let me read you a text message concerning this particular borrower, right? And so his application came in, and we usually promise that we'll respond within 24 to 48 hours. However, your girl just didn't do it this time. And we've been having a lot of little different, it's no excuse. We just didn't do it this time, right? Uh and so I replied to him with the numbers that we talked about just a few seconds ago. And this is his response. It says, "Hey, so good afternoon. Sorry for the late response. I couldn't have my phone in the unit I'm working in. So I have found a lender from Texas willing to do the loan. Last week we have ordered title and is pretty much waiting on insurance deck page to be updated. We have clear title, and he wants us to take the property out of our business name and donate back to our personal names. Not sure why. uh, there are terms their terms was 94,000 for 30 years. I didn't ask for cash out because I wanted to close quickly. I was just going to keep sitting like I have been doing things myself. So he's renovating the property himself, but obviously I will like to use someone I'm more comfortable with, which is us. Our update payoff amount is 89,000 with interest through November 31st. So how much time will you guys need to close after you walk property? And we currently have insurance that covers requirements for 300,000. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, since we didn't reply to him within the 24 to 48 hours, it kind of like give us our window to close to be shorter. And for us to get it done, what that is, 5 days, 4 days. We had times where we got deals closing for 4 to 5 days, but every situation is different. And for us, like if we would have did what we were supposed to do, we probably could have got this deal closed. But
You
now
blaming me?
I'm
You blaming
I'm
me? You
I'm
said you
blaming
saying
that.
I dropped the ball. I dropped the ball.
Yeah,
It's okay. It's cool.
You dropped the ball, but like I'm gonna say we. I always say we, because my job and
Shots
your
fired.
yeah,
Shots
my
fired.
job is to hold you accountable, and your job is to hold me accountable. So
Right.
I dropped the ball on holding you accountable.
Right.
So I always say we. But yeah, so we did make him an offer, and our offer was to see if he could get an extension with his current lender, and if he could get an extension, we could get him close. We could refinance the property.
But what you thought about the thought process of him having a 30-year on the table and we currently do not offer 30 years, and then him continuing to try to improve this property out of pocket? What do you think
So he
about
have
that
a
thought
so
process?
so he have a 30-year loan on the table where the lender is saying that he's gonna give him 94,000, right?
Yeah, 94,000.
I think that's a good opportunity for him, honestly.
I
Um,
do too. I do too.
yeah, because if he could get that 30-year loan in place, he could always find money to finish the renovations, and also it give him a little bit of money to, instead of him continuing to come out of pocket, he have a little bit of money within that 94,000. What is that, 9,000 $9,000 he have to apply to that $55,000 budget, so it helps him. And also he got permanent financing where I'm assuming that 30-year loan is probably a 7% interest rate around that. So is better debt. A 30 year is always better debt than a private money loan.
Yeah, so I think if he's keeping this property, and I'm gonna go out and agree with you, I think you kind of got to look at it. He's pretty much. I agree. It's a really good. I probably would do this loan if I
Hmm.
was a landlord, because you want to, at what he's doing, 3.2 or 3.2 in this neighborhood could go for 1,800. I think with his
Hmm.
taxes and insurance on 94,000, he may be looking at about $1,100 note,
Yeah, definitely. And
even
another
with
thing,
the 7%, right?
yeah,
Um, and I think the condition of the property is pretty close to rentable.
yeah. And another thing, to your point earlier, we don't come behind other private money lenders, but he would find another lender, a private money lender that come behind a 30-year note, 30-year mortgage. So
Correct.
So yeah, I think he should go with the 30-year, the 94,000 30-year mortgage, and then find another lender to come in second lien position.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
lesson learned, guy. We boss coming slow out the gate. He would have more than likely taken our offer. Um, and like I said, he's come to us 7 times. I'm confident that we'll see him again
Yeah.
uh, in the future because he is an active investor. But because we didn't respond as quickly, the borrower is always shopping as they should.